Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Ketchadori.
Hey, Bill, we are back at it again. I'm so excited about today, brother, because what you're about to discover is something that has bothered so many people, including myself. Have you ever been through a situation where you are going after a particular goal, but you're doing it in a way that you feel like there must be a better way? You're not happy about it. Well, today, if you've been through that phase or you've gone through that way, you're going to discover how you can reach your goals, be successful, and be happy at the same time. Not only that, but you can be a better contributor to the world. My next guest, Stephen D'Angelo, has discovered strategies that successful people who are happy are using day in, day out. Remember, success leaves clue. It's no accident if you discover somebody doing it over and over again. They have figured out how to work it out. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so pumped that you're here.
My pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. Now, a little bit about Stephen here, guys. If you're following in now, Stephen is an incredible author and also a Silicon Valley veteran with more than 30 years of experience in the tech industry, and he has led global sales organization as a CRO and served as CEO and president of both private and publicly traded companies. One of the things I love about Stephen here is he has figured out what works today. And one of the things that Stephen is known for is taking companies from generating 20 million in revenue to over 60 million in 3 years. An amazing testimony that I had is that he took a company from no revenue at all to over $100 million in 5 years. Wouldn't you want to know what he's done and how he's done that? Well, stay tuned today, Bill, and everyone else, so you can discover exactly how to do that. And not only do that, but do it in a way that leaves everybody happy. It's a win-win situation. You are happy, everybody's happy, your clients are happy, and most importantly, your family is happy. Stephen, again, thank you so much for being here. Tell us, I may have missed up some few things here. Just a snap introduction of, who you are, how you ended up in this industry helping other people do very well.
Yes. So as you said, I've been in the software technology industry for over 30 years, and I went into it right from university. When I graduated university, I moved into the technology world. And that happened because I had a great mentor that took a liking to me. And candidly, I was not going to go work for this individual when I was making my decision for my first job. And he reached out for me and he said, "No, you don't understand how big the technology business is going to be." I was going to go to advertising. He said, "Advertising is great, but technology, you have no idea how great it's going to be over the next 10, 20, 30 years. You're coming to work with us and you're going to learn the technology business." And I was intrigued, and I guess I was a bit inspired that he took that interest in me. And that's how I entered the technology world. And he was my mentor early on. And then through those years of you grow, you're part of a company. I started in the sales organization, so I had to learn about people and working with people and solving business problems and utilizing our technology to make companies better. I soon got involved with the venture capital community. And in Silicon Valley in New York, there's many great venture capital firms like NEA, Shasta, Kleiner Perkins, Sequoia, Insight Venture Partners. And I work with them, and when they make investments in companies, they bring me into some of those companies, not all of them, of course, but some of them to help coach, counsel, and guide the leadership team, the CEO, and also to be part of some of those companies permanently as an executive. So I've been part of 2 public offerings. I helped sell 3 other companies. And through that whole process, I became keenly aware of those success principles that one achieves as a company to be successful, and then also the principles that people acquire and utilize and execute so they are successful and happy versus people that are successful but candidly are unhappy. And I've documented that through the years, and hence that was part of why I wrote my book, A Single Day of Peace. So I became an author a few months ago officially, but my background really has been in that business of guiding companies and helping them be successful.
Oh, love that. Isn't it amazing? Well, I don't know if it is amazing, but the number of people who are successful and not so happy is so big and is completely something that can be solved. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's unfortunate that there are as many as there are. And the thing I want to point out when we say successful people, we tend to immediately think financial success or material success. And I often say success really is when someone is pursuing a worthwhile goal that's important to them, right? So I often say successful people are not just business people, right? They are great teachers that inspire children. They are great charitable people that help the needy. They are great all walks of great athletes. And yes, great business people as well. But I have worked alongside professional athletes, billionaires, successful people in various businesses in different walks of life. And there's no question. Some of them are successful and happy, and some of them are successful but not so happy. And I started to see this early in my career, and I began, just for curiosity's sake, started to document those things that the successful, happy people did versus those that were not happy what they did. And I began to document them, and then about 10, 11 years ago, I had this idea that I've got all this material. I should write a book. I should help the world by helping people find their better place and helping them be more happy and successful in their life. And that's what inspired me to write the book, A Single Day Peace.
I love that. Before we dive deep into looking at those attributes of successful and happy people and those attributes of successful but not so happy, let's look at what you discover, what surprised you the most that separates these two categories of people.
Yes. I would say one of the key differences is a level of spirituality.
Wow.
Now, this is interesting because some of the people that were successful and happy, I'd go to them and say, boy, you have a level of spirituality in you. And they'd say, yeah, absolutely, I do. I'm a strong believer, whatever their religion may be, right? Maybe they're Jewish, maybe they're Catholic, maybe they're Buddhist, whatever they believed in. But there's a level of a spirit connection. You'd be surprised. Many others that I went to, I said, you have a level of spirituality in you. And they'd say, me? I'm not religious at all. I don't know what I believe. I'm not spiritual at all.
Right.
And I would point out some of the things that they do. And I'd say, well, you shared with me about this charitable organization that you're part of, and it gives you so much fulfillment when you help those children. And you also told me you like to meditate. And don't you think those two things are a higher power kinds of thing that you're doing that could be connected with, a good positive spirit? And as I think about it, I said, well, maybe you're right, Steve. Maybe you're right. There is something there. So I will tell you that the principles that I document of being happy and successful, many of them are about examining your own spirit and utilizing various spiritual kinds of things to make a better connection with the world. And I think that ultimately is the difference between those that are happy and not happy. Those that are happy are making a contribution more than money to the world. They're doing things for people. They're giving people advice and guidance and inspiration. Yes, they're donating their money. They're doing things to make the world around them better. And that, like life is, it's a gravitating pull. The more you do for others, the more good you give out, the more good you get back. And it's a fulfilling prophecy, right? Self-fulfilling prophecy. On the other hand, when you see the people that are successful, but they're bitter, they don't take care of their employees, they never donate any money, there's like an anger about them all the time. And that attracts more of those kinds of people to them. So they're in this cycle of they're not so happy, but yet they have so much to be happy for, but they're not. And that's the sad thing.
Yeah. Wow, that's very interesting. I'm glad you point this out because I have a firm belief that my success is directly linked to my awareness of my connection to God, because I'm a person of faith. I would say it that way. I do know that other people have got a different connection to the higher powers they would consider, but my faith is about God. And by understanding that I'm part of something bigger, greater than myself, it helps me to look at my life in the right proportion that, I've got perhaps these gifts and these talents and these connections and all these things that life has to offer. I'm grateful for those. And I know you are very big on grateful, because one of those things that you wrote in your book is the raw of gratefulness in your day-to-day. Do you want to allude to that for a second?
Sure. I think the idea of gratitude is a blessing, and if people start to create more of that mental thought of looking around them and have gratitude for the things that they have, they start to feel, they all of a sudden start feeling really good about their life and the things that they have. But it's a conscious activity. As a matter of fact, when I do advisory work for companies and executives and businesses, where I try to help them be more successful, grow their sales, help them whatever challenges that they're having, I will always find a way to go to this topic. How happy are you with your business? What are things do you have gratitude for, et cetera? And then I'll even move into, let's talk about your life. And it's almost like I'm transitioning from business consultant to therapist, because I'm going down the path of asking them about their lives. And I suggest to them something that I do. I have something in my calendar every morning at 7 a.m. It's a reminder, and it's just the word gratitude.
Oh.
And it's my reminder to pick 3 things today that I'm thankful for. It could be the sun came up today, or it could be I'm going to play golf today. I'm thankful for that. Or I'm going to have this interview with you, and I'm thankful that you give me the opportunity to talk about this. Or I'm thankful for my wife or my children, right? My health. There's all kinds of things. So we have to consciously have that gratitude, because that gives us a good feeling, and candidly, it brings more of the good things back to you. And I think we then just appreciate the great things that we have. How many people do you know that have so much, but they're always thinking about the next thing? They got the new car, but they want the next new car. Or they got the beach house, now they want the mountain house. Now, there's nothing wrong with more goals. I'm all about goals. And there's something I call divine dissatisfaction. You always want that next thing is okay, as long as you appreciate that which you have, right? Appreciate the unique things that you've been blessed with. So I think it creates a good positive, back to the word spirit, inside you. And that, makes you feel good, and you attract more good things to you.
Love that. Bill knows here, and many of my listeners know that I practice what you've just shared here. Every single day at 2:35 UK time, they know my alarm goes off, and it is a moment for me to stop and be grateful for something that is working well in my life. So I have to look at it, especially when I'm working with clients. They say, "Oh, your alarm is going," and I'll say, "Oh yeah, that one is reminding me to be grateful for this moment I'm with you." You know what they do? They say, "Oh yes." It produces amazing things. So, if you're listening or joining us for the very first time, take this seriously. It may sound so simple. Gratitude opens amazing doors for you. It opens these doors that you probably wouldn't be able to open for yourself. So just get into a habit of doing that. Be grateful. What can you be grateful for today? What can you be grateful about your family? What can you be grateful about your work, your business, and the opportunities that are lining up for you? Try it and see what happens, and I would love to hear from you. Coming back to you, Stephen. I was looking at one of you wrote probably about 6 things, I think they are, that you've noticed among happy, successful people, among which is gratitude. We've covered that. You also noticed that setting goals and pursuing those goals define successful people. Can we talk about that for a moment?
Yes. It's probably one of the most important things people can do for progress in their life. Having a worthwhile goal or an objective is something that allows you to put your attention to, your focus on, your energy toward, and there's a feeling of fulfillment as you're getting closer to it, and then of course when you achieve it. But so often people say, it was the worthwhile pursuance of that goal that really was the most satisfying thing, not so much when I achieved it and I got it, right? Absolutely. So again, there's another that using that word spirit. There's a spirit inside you that when you set a goal, it could be, I want to save X amount of money by a certain date. I want to change my weight up or down of a certain amount at a certain date. I'm going to go on vacation to Rome, Italy next year in June, and I'm going to save money for that. I'm going to plan for that. I need the new car, whatever the goal is. I'm going to donate X amount of money to help autistic children. Whatever the goal isn't as important as having one that's important to you and going after that objective. What it also does is it helps you avoid all of the noise and maybe negative things you could do. Yeah. You know, there's a saying that goes, I hope I get this right, idle hands is the work of the devil. That's right. Idle hands are the work of the devil, which means you've got nothing to do and you're not really passionate about what you're doing, you tend to kind of go the wrong way, you know? But if you pick something you love and you're passionate about it and you put the effort into it and the sweat and the hard work and you plan it and you stay focused on it, all of a sudden, you know, you're on the straight and narrow and you're doing the right things to accomplish that objective. And it's a very healthy thing to do.
Yes, love this. Absolutely love this. You know, when I discovered setting goals, I think it was through Bob Proctor. Many of you, my listener, you would know this. It was a game changer for me because when you set a goal, the sense of progress really is what makes you feel happy because you're moving forward. You're not stagnant. You're not going back, which are those two things that are often the reason why people feel depressed. Because you will find... excuse me if this offends you, but you find that highly successful people with everything, they take their own lives.
I know.
You wonder, why would you do that? But when you begin to look very closely, you find that they stopped growing. They stopped moving towards a particular goal. So all the joy goes away. So I want to encourage you, if you haven't started already, start making those goals. Stephen, how can they start making realistic goals or something to work towards? Can we?
Yeah. So I think the first part is identifying what's important to them.
Awesome.
What is it that they believe will make their life better over the next 6 months or 12 months? And if they're not sure of that, there's a very important aspect, it's an important thing they can do. And I have this as one of the principles actually in my book, A Single Day of Peace. And that is find time every day to be silent. Because in your silence, when your quietness, when you go somewhere in your home or your office and you can close your eyes and you can take a few deep breaths and you can stay silent that way for 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, that inner voice starts to speak to you and you can kind of talk to yourself and you start getting clarity of thought. And you can simply ask yourself, what are the goals I should set? What's important to me? And maybe the first time you do this, you won't get answers, but I promise 3, 4, 5 times of doing this consistently, things will come to mind. I really I want that new apartment in the city, or boy, my friend is really struggling. I want to help my friend, with some of their bills, or I want to help my friend get into a university. Something will come to you that's important through that silence. Because think about this for a moment. Every day, we're all exposed to 60 to 80,000 outward in messages, whether it be social media, email, the media, news. So many things are coming in from the outside. We don't spend enough time listening to ourselves and going in a silent place. And this is a form of meditation. But I think if people become silent, if they're struggling identifying what goal should they set, that will help them. More often than not, though, people, if I ask, what would you want to have differently in the next 6 to 12 months? They usually could say, I really wish I could have this. I wish I was that, or I wish I learned this. Okay, great. That's a goal for you to set because it's important to you. It can't be somebody else's goals. It can't be your parents' goals. It can't be your boss's goal. They have to be yours that you are striving toward.
Oh, love this. Stephen, you're helping people today. Really, thank you so much for that. Listen, Bill, if you really want to do this and you want to be one of those happy, successful, and you're enjoying your life, this ought to be one of the things you get clear about. What is it that you want to achieve in your life right now? What is it that you want to pursue? And it is amazing how much you can achieve when you do that. And you'll be joyful in the process as well. Let's move on to another aspect, Steve, which I know you cover in your book, is conduct a positive attitude no matter what. It's one of those areas that you focus on to have a positive attitude. Let's explore this for a moment.
Yes, yes. So I have one of my favorite sayings for many years: attitude is everything. And that doesn't mean, I want to be really clear, that doesn't mean that things will not go wrong in your life, that you won't have challenges, that you won't have adversity, and that you won't feel bad and frustrated and confused from time to time. We all go through that. That's natural. But the trigger here is to remember, if I try to find the positive piece of what's going on, and I can have the optimism and the positive attitude that while I'm dealing with this adversity right now, I know I'm going to come out of it. And whether you believe in a higher power of God, of your spirit, you pray or you meditate, whatever works for that individual, their own spirituality, they need to go through that with the idea that I will prevail. I will come out of this, and because life is a learning process, we're going to come out better for it. Now, that's always easy to say. There's some really difficult things that happen in people's lives. Maybe they lose a partner, they lose a husband and wife, they lose a child to an accident. These are very, very difficult things that I don't want to be flippant about and simply say, oh, just be positive, you'll be okay. But it is in that deep belief and spirit that I know I will get through this. I know I will have a happy and successful life. I will get through this. And having that slant of seeing the glass half full versus seeing the glass half empty. Now, as I explain this, there are some people that fall into the trap and they don't recognize it. And I bring this up so maybe they can do some self-evaluation, is that when little things go wrong, it's like a mountain is falling down, right? Their attitude is too negative that every time something happens, well, see, this always happens to me, or, I can never catch a break. They don't see how so many good things that are going on. They have this negative slant. And it's my strong recommendation, whether you're a business or whether you're an individual looking to do bigger and better things, it all starts with that positive attitude and that positive energy that you put out.
All of this. One of my saying that I use on a regular basis is from that ancient book, that all things are working together for my good. I like that saying that life happens for me, not against me. I want to leave for others that, look at that positive attribute in anything that is going on in your life. You will find it and start operating from there, believing that the best is yet to come. You guys know that. I always talk about the best is yet to come here.
Great.
Let's talk about controlling your thoughts, because that's one of the things you've discovered among happy, successful people, that they love doing this. How do you go about doing it?
Yes. This is critically important because we become what we think about most. It's that simple. That which we focus in on mentally, that which we think about the most, that's what we become. Candidly, if I look at my life, where I live, my family, my career, my health, these are things I've been visualizing and thinking about early on before I had any chance of living where I live or having what I have or being with my family. I visualized it, and it's amazing how it's a gravitational pull that your life goes in the direction and you achieve those things. So very often people will say, well, how do I control my thoughts? One of the most basic ways to start is to actually write down on index cards the person you think you want to become. So for example, let's say I wanted to gain 10 pounds of muscle because I'm a bodybuilder. I'll just use that example. I would write down, I am gaining 10 pounds of muscle little by little every day, and in 3 months I will have the 10 pounds of muscle. Like, I'm writing that down to control my thought, and I'm reading it several times a day. Now, your listeners may say, oh, this is kind of crazy. You're just kind of writing these things. I will tell you, they were powerful programming techniques for your brain. If you want to live in Rome, Italy, I am in the process of getting to move to Rome, Italy, and I plan on being there January 1st of next year. Positive thought about and positive statement. If you need a new career, you're going to write a positive statement. If you want to be more patient, you write down, I'm more patient. If you want to be more aggressive with people, I'm more professionally aggressive every day. You're saying these things, these positive statements, and you're programming your conscious and your subconscious mind, and little by little, your behaviors change. No different than if you kept telling yourself negative things. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I never eat right. I always seem to associate with the wrong people. Well, the more you tell yourself those things, the more those things are going to come. So let's start giving positive self-talk about ourselves, and let's catch ourselves. We all, me included, time to time, I'll say something negative about myself, and then I stop and I go, cancel. That's gone. I'm replacing it with a positive thought. So sometimes human nature is to go the slant of negative. We have to stop it and replace it with the positive.
Oh, this is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Bill, I'm hoping you're taking notes as much as I'm doing here. I love this. One of my sort of affirmation, if you like to do that I use to control my thought is every single day, I'm so grateful and happy now that my life is moving in the direction that I want to. And I have another one about money, that money comes to me in ever-increasing quantities from ever-increasing multiple sources. I've been saying that for a long time, and perhaps you can borrow that if you're listening for the first time, that money and health comes to me in ever-increasing quantities from ever-increasing multiple sources. It's a good affirmation. One day it's going to become a reality for you as well. Let's dive on to another one here as we come towards the end of our time here together. We'll cover two things that you've discovered that has helped a lot of people become successful and happy at the same time, and that is meditating and read inspiring books. Let's explore this for a moment.
I love it. Two of my favorites. Fantastic. So meditation, as I said a few minutes ago, everything in my life is a result of the thoughts that I have been thinking, and the way that I've been thinking has been meditation. I happen to be certified in the Silva method of meditation, SILVA. It's available online. It's a process of deep breathing and lowering your brain waves and your body vibrations to a slower pace so that you can be more at peace. And then you program the things that you want in your life. You connect better with your dreams. There's all kinds of great outcomes of the Silva method of meditation. But there are all kinds of great meditation techniques. Transcendental meditation is a very positive one. But I will tell you, whichever works for you, you should find one that does, because what meditation does, scientifically, it slows down your vibrations. And you know how in life sometimes we get to be really fast at everything. We're thinking too quickly, doing 1,000 things at once. Going into this meditative state is amazing how it calms you. I'm going to give you a case in point. My daughter, Olivia. My daughter is 22, and she's a fast-paced, entrepreneurial person, type A, like her father, right? She moves fast. And sometimes she's a little too aggressive and snaps, in her tone of voice and things of that nature. She recently took transcendental meditation, and it's made all the difference. Does it mean she's perfect? No. But does she feel so much better? Does she feel a better connection to herself? Absolutely. So meditation allows us to connect to that inner spirit. It makes you calm. It makes you more peaceful. It makes you more productive. And through the visualization of what you want to achieve, it brings to you the kinds of things in life that you want. Meditation, for me, has made all the difference in my life.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And one of the things you do on a regular basis is reading, feeding your mind, inspiring books from all walks of life, something that you want to build in your life. Maybe a few comments on this one, Steve.
There was a great saying by one of my favorite sports leaders, Lou Holtz. He says, the difference between where you will be today and where you'll be the same time next year, we covered this one, the thoughts you think, right? We didn't cover this one, the people you associate with, and then third one, the books you read, right? And I am a firm believer in the books you read. So, there are so many people that have written great books. I like to think I'm one of them now that I wrote the book A Single Day of Peace to help people have a happy and successful life. But whether you read my book or any other positive, inspirational how-to books, what they do is they feed your mind with the positive thoughts. They feed your mind with the positive energy. They feed your body and your soul with a renewed thinking about a new way to look at things. It's refreshing. And those things now help develop you. Doesn't matter how old you are. You could be in your teens. You could be 90. If you read a good book, you feel inspired. You feel like, wow, there are some new things that I'm thinking about and planning for my life. There's nothing more important than on a monthly basis, once a month, read a good book. And now with Audible, listen to good books, or even on YouTube. There's so many positive, inspirational videos by people that you could watch and listen to. Very often when I'm in the gym and I've got my headset in, everybody thinks you're listening to music. I'm listening to an Audible book, some business book, an inspiring book, or maybe there's an inspiring speech on YouTube that I'm listening to. It just fills your body, your soul, your mind with great thoughts and feelings, and it allows you to be that bigger, stronger, better person and more healthy.
Absolutely. Or even listen to this audio. You will be transformed. I love that.
I love that.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to create a successful life and be happy while you're doing it, what we've covered today is just a snapshot of what you can learn by visiting Stephen's website or just reading the Single Day of Peace book, which is out now on Amazon, that you can access that. Where else can they find you, Stephen?
Yes, they can go to my website, as you've said, which is asingledayofpeace.com. They can email me at asingledayofpeace@gmail.com if they'd like to contact me. You can find my book, A Single Day of Peace, on Amazon. It's available on Kindle. It's available as a softcover book. It's available also as Audible. You can also get it at barnesandnoble.com and walmart.com and target.com. So it's in a lot of outlets. Easy to find me. Like I said, A Single Day of Peace.com is my website. And of course, my email, as I said, asingledayofpeace@gmail.com. You can learn more about me on my website, my LinkedIn profile, my business background. And if I could be of help to anyone with their business or their personal guidance, feel free to reach out to me.
Oh, love that. You know what, Stephen, this has been very insightful. And thank you for your generosity in sharing what you've gleaned over in the last 30 years of doing business with both successful people that are happy and unhappy successful people. And we have touched on some incredible things here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in today. And by the fact of you being here, I know you're successful. You're already going to do the right thing and create these habits or build these habits in your daily life so that you can be more successful, be happy, make a huge contribution to our world. And, I don't know what else to say on that one, but just be happy. Thank you again for joining us. And I can't wait to hang out with you again on another episode. Actually, before I let you go, I want to remind you that I'm on Clubhouse teaching people how to start, scale, and monetize podcasts. So if you want to start a podcast, or you want to scale a podcast, or even if you want to monetize your podcast, come on Clubhouse on Fridays and Saturdays. In fact, you can look at the link right below that will tell you exactly what time you can connect with us. Can't wait to help you again. Stephen, thanks again for being here with us. I want to wish you a great day ahead and success in your next endeavor.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Go live well and live with passion. And remember, the best is yet to come. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.